Hello, the doc is in, and welcome back to another chapter of JuJutsu Kaisen, chapter 204, Blood and Oil. In last chapter, we have Kenjaku and Chozo going at it, and Kenjaku basically spends the entire fight stunning on Chozo like he's literally piss poor at work. Like, basically just styling on him, making him look sad and disrespecting him to the utmost degree, saying he's unremarkable, so are his siblings, and he's a bitch because he's not a special grade like the body he's taken. But at the end of the chapter, Chozo thinks about his brothers. He's like, I'm not gonna let my mother thing person disrespect my siblings like that. He's like, bros, give me some power. I'm gonna need to put some hands on this man. Right? And that's pretty much where we're going to be starting off for this chapter. So we have like a proverbial like hands touching Chozo's back and pushing him off the wall he was planted on, right? And basically it's like all his brothers, right? Don't remember all their names, not important. But right, yeah, the two other wombs that Yuji killed, and then Yuji included, and basically they all he like hears their voice and they cheer him on. They're like, hey, you can do it. And so he's like, all right, well, my brothers say I can do it. Fuck it, I can do it. And so he pops a piercing blood, right? And Kenjaku's like, alrighty then, whatever. Just so you know, piercing blood's fastest at its start. So if I can dodge it initially, then I basically have the win on you as far as that attack. And so as Chozo shoots the shot, then tries to like swing it around or whatever, like he did in the last chapter, Kenjaku completely dodges it, right? And then Chozo then shoots some more. It seems piercing bloods, but he adds as Kenjaku later mentions, he has the ability of tracking. So he gives it the ability to like follow where Kenjaku's going. And so as it's coming at Kenjaku, he throws a little cursed spirit to, I guess, take the line of sight away from him, and that gets hit. And he completely dodges the attack, right? And Chozo then activates winking, as you remember, if you remember the maximum technique that one of his brothers used. I believe it was Eso. I think that's the name. But anyway, right? So he activates winking. It gives him a little extra speed. He rushes down on Kenjaku. Right now, we've seen Kenjaku and Chozo go hand to hand, and Kenjaku made him look like a bitch. Right now, they come back in and obviously has winking, and winking has its own abilities to use blood or whatever. So as they're going hand to hand, Kenjaku's like, well, this is a poor imitation of the ability. And Chozo pops the blood attack, and he's like, all right, well, I'm just going to bring the blood in as I'm fighting you, right? And Kenjaku's able to backflip over it using, once again, cursed spirits to help, like, deflect any incoming attacks, right? And so what Chozo mentions is that, like, you know, the cursed spirits he keeps on adding in and, like, popping in at random, they act kind of like a smoke screen for him to, like, not only like block his line, Chozo's line of sight on Kenjaku, so that then he can get out of the way of whatever ranged or physical attack he's trying to put out. But also because he can control the cursed spirits and they have power or whatever, he can also use them as a counter attack. So not only does it completely negate whatever attack Chozo's putting out, but then he can get retaliated on, as you see right here, with a bunch of centipedes pushing on him. Even though he's able to destroy them, I mean, he still got hit by that. And from there, Kenjaku, having already gotten far away from Chozo, he's like, you know, when you add the ability of tracking, it makes it slower than a regular shot. So if you add tracking to piercing blood, it's going to be even slower, and I'm already able to dodge piercing blood, so what are the chances you're going to be able to hit me? Not only that, but because I'm your parent, I'm not going to get poisoned. So, you know, you're working on a lot of losses here, right? And so Chozo hears this or whatever, right? And Kenjaku's like basically taunting him, like, oh, what are you gonna do next? And so Chozo says, like, Eso was elegantly. That's the winking. And he's like, Kechizu, the weird amorphous mouth looking thing, he says he fights freely. And so he literally, I don't know how he does it exactly. Well, I'm not sure how he cuts his arm. But basically he threw, like Mr. Fantastic, Stretchy Man, whatever. He throws his fist using blood to still connect it so that then it doesn't like actually severed, and he actually gets a touch on Kenjaku. Like this clearly was like completely out, not the realm of possibility, but completely surprising, right? He grabs him and he flings him into the floor, right? and he slaps him on the ground, and he pulls him back, and he goes for a punch on the face, right? And he says, "You like Yuji, powerfully, like a devastating punch." But alas, once again, even with like catching Kenjaku off guard, even in that instance, he's still able to get a curse spirit in at the last second and not get hit by the attack, right? And he's basically like, "Oh, you done yet?" And Kenjaku's like, hey, not Kenjaku, but Chozo's like, "How about this?" He keeps the ante up. Like before, you know, he missed stuff and it was kind of like, damn, that shit kind of sucks. But now he's like, nah. I still got more in the tank, man. I still got more in the tank. And so they use the Wing King thing again, right? He starts shooting the tracking piercing bloods, right? And Kenjaku's like, I mean, didn't we just discuss that that's literally not going to work? Like, you're not going to be able to touch me. And Chozo instead like, you know, the tracking shot, it wasn't to hit you, my guy. It's a canal to leave a couple pieces of condensed blood. And Kenjaku was not prepared for this. The tracking attacks, he thought he was like, oh, just get out of the way and just move faster. But by leaving those little condensed pieces of blood, he's able to use Supernova once again. Kenjaku was not prepared for this. All around him, boom. And you think, this is Chozo just got the hit off. But he didn't. Everywhere around Kenjaku has been destroyed, but Kenjaku himself has not been touched. Weird, right? And Chozo's like, was this a dud? But he's like, no. It couldn't have been a dud because everywhere around him is destroyed. Unless, and Kenjaku's like, fuck. Damn. And it turns out, as Chozo points out, I was able to get you to use a different curse technique besides curse manipulation. Therefore, meaning I win. And then this is a pretty big moment. All right, this is pretty cool, right? We find out apparently Kenjaku. Well, we already kind of knew Kenjaku had other curse techniques, but the way he was kind of like, oh, I'm not gonna show any of them to fight you, whatever. Chozo was able to pull that out of him. Cool, and apparently some type of protection ability. How he was able to do that and activate it at just the right moment, I don't know. But now it's been revealed. Yuki Tsukumo pops in the other special grade. Finally, we're waiting for see what she could do for forever, right? She pops in, she's like, I might be an only child, but you're damn awesome, big bro. I'm not saying only child, this is not happening, all right? I'm a weeaboo, but I'm not that kind of weeaboo, all right? Let's just keep it honest. But anyway, with this new information, and basically the chapter ends right there, and and the little blurb at the end says like, oh, you know, with this new information gleans, the next special grade, Yuki, pops in and it's time to fight. But there's a break next week, so you know that sucks a lot. But outside of that, oh my god, great chapter, great chapter. It seems like, well, in terms of Chozo getting all these new abilities or whatever, it seems like the gist of it is it's just a matter of like mindset in terms of his abilities. By him saying, oh, I'm gonna copy my brothers because he has curse manipulation, and that ability is just not curse manipulation, but blood manipulation, which is just manipulating blood. Theoretically, he can copy all their techniques. And so that's why he's able to kind of pull it off. Obviously, as Kenjaku says, it's not the same effect, but the general idea is useful and allows him to vary up his move set in a way that keeps Kenjaku on his toes. Especially with the arm thing, like Kenjaku, like you can tell Kenjaku completely didn't prepare for that at all. And so yeah, I feel like, you know, Chozo got his little mini power up. I think it was pretty cool. I thought he was going to just have a maximum technique or something in a domain expansion, but I mean, hey, I'll take this. I like the ingenuity of saying like, hey, he can control blood. That's the whole curse technique. So why can't he use the technique? Why can't he use the techniques of other blood manipulation users? And that's right. Now, as for Kenjaku's ability, the other technique he uses, it's hard to say because we see that like when the explosion happens, right, he stands in the middle and we don't actually see him like do anything or anything come around him. My guess is it's probably some type of barrier thing. Like maybe literally he has like a barrier technique, like a barrier type technique that, or maybe it relates to like his whole brain thing where it's like his ability to do the brain thing, and so maybe he has like some type of psychic ability technique that he uses. Possibly. I mean, like I said, there's a number of ways this could go, but that's what I'm going to lean on. The idea that he either has like a barrier technique, which is why I was able to block, or he has some type of psychic ability where he's able to like manipulate things using his brain. And that's why he's also able, and like maybe his maximum technique is the brain transfer. That's what I think. I think that makes sense. As for Yuki coming in, obviously we see her cursed spirit, or the thing she manipulates. It seems like that's going to be like her thing. Like she has this cursed spirit thing that she uses to fight with. So I know next chapter, whenever it comes out, it's going to be hype and slapping. So this is very interesting. How Kenjaku is going to fight both of them at the same time, especially considering Chozo was able to push him back like that. Given if Kenjaku got like really serious and started busting out like the crazy stuff, then it might not be so good for Chozo. But now that Yuki's in, I don't know. Kenjaku might be pushed up to a wall right now. He might be pushed up against a wall right now. With that all being said, though, I think that's it for the chapter. Leave a like if you like, leave a dislike if you dislike. Comment, what do you think Kenjaku's other ability is? I mean, I said psychic ability and or barriers, but maybe you think it's something else. Maybe you want to get a little bit more creative with it. I mean, we can. This is Jujutsu Kaisen. Abilities are not usually that simple. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more videos like these whenever a new chapter comes out for Jujutsu Kaisen. And feel free to check out the rest of the channel if you want to see what other type of content I create. I do streams too. Yeah, check them out. I think they're pretty cool. With that all being said, thank you for watching the video, and the doc is out. Peace.